All right, hey, Black Art in America fam, this is Najee Dorsey here for another installment of BAIA Talks. And on the phone, I've got Miss Garbo Hearne from Hearne Fine Art in Little Rock, Arkansas, my home state. And welcome Garbo um, to the BAIA Talk episode. How you doing today, Garbo?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm excited to have you on. There's a lot going on in the industry, and you've always got a lot of great things that you're doing at the gallery and in a number of different markets around the country. Catch us up to speed. What's going on with the gallery and all that good stuff?
Oh, well, actually, we celebrated 30 years June 16th, so we're excited about that.
Cool.
We are opening Chick's exhibition, Identity Theft, and his work is Fired Clay, and it's an amazing testimony of what art can do to tell the story of our history. So this is a must-see exhibition for sure, and it opens tomorrow, actually.
Right. Oh, okay. Congratulations on that. I'm a huge fan of Chuck's work. Have admired it for a good long while. And a huge fan of the gallery. I mean, I'm looking at your bio. I didn't realize that. I know it's been a while, but I didn't realize it had been 30 years. Major congrats on that.
Well, I know it's been 30 years. 30 long, hard, fun years, but yeah. No complaints here, though.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot to be in business, in any business, for 30 years, let alone the art business. Can you talk a little bit about, how you got started and how the gallery came to be?
Well, actually, we opened as initially a print shop. We primarily sold print and local original artists. And we met Frank Frazier, and that changed everything for us because he's, such a great networker. He introduced us to Brenda Joy Smith, John Biggers, Paul Goodnight, just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
And then we changed our focus when we moved to our second location, actually our third location, where we only decided to pursue fine art. So we changed our name from Pyramid Gallery to Pyramid Art Books and Custom Framing and Hearne Fine Art to accommodate that change. Because I think the key to us lasting this long is that we have been versatile, and we've looked at our clients and what they needed, and as they grew, we grew.
Mm-hmm.
And we're continuing to work with people who are just beginning, but at the same time, we're able to accommodate a seasoned collector as well.
Yes, and you've done a great job at that, no doubt. And it takes dedication and a lot of hard work, years, investment, things and so on and so forth. I mean, education has been a big component of a lot of the things that you do. I'm right about that, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's important for me to connect the artist with the patron, and for the artist to showcase what they do over a period of 30 years. I would say this is probably Chuck's 8th exhibition, solo exhibition. So it's important that the artist is able to come back around and show the progress of their work aesthetically as well as economically as well, to show that this is an investment. But I think having the opportunity to meet the artist, for the artist to do artist talks, even demonstrations, really help the client and the patron base understand what the value is. And then they have that history to share with their offspring, grandchildren, and that. And I think that's really been another key, that we keep the artist in the center of what we do.
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit before we get into this article that came out, the purpose for our call. Talk to us a little bit to the artists and the collectors about why it's so extremely important for us to have our gallerists and our dealers.
Well, I mean, we are a platform for artists to showcase their work. And throughout the country, I think that if we as gallerists work together better, that we could have a network of opportunities for artists from different regions to show within other regions. So I definitely think that galleries and dealers are important to have that platform for artists to show their work, because online sales are probably hitting their top market, but if you actually haven't been able to see the work, meet the artist, that's not something you're going to get online.
Oh, absolutely. Art is definitely
To
best.
me, that's like a secondary resource. Online is a secondary resource, but I think for you to really invest in art, you really have to see it and talk to the people who are selling it to you as well as the people who are creating it.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I would imagine there are certain particular challenges being, in the Midwest and in the South that maybe some of your colleagues that are in more major markets may not experience quite to the same degree. Is that the case, or am I thinking too hard on that one?
I think the challenges remain the same no matter where you're located. It's making sure that you keep your patron base excited about what you're doing. They want to see more of the same, but yet they want to be introduced to something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that making sure your programming is tight and well thought out long term makes the difference. Location, as long as you got an air for it, I think you're good wherever you are.
Okay.
You just got to be, make sure your programming is so important that people will want to come where you are.
Right. No, that sounds good. There's been an influx. I would say just looking at the market of people, gravitating to the contemporaries as opposed to the legacy artists. Perhaps. I mean, are you finding that to be the same for yourself and your clients?
I do. I think my patron base has grown up. Their walls are completely full. Thank you. But their children are not necessarily haven't they gotten the bug? Maybe not. Maybe they are expecting to inherit the artwork, and they probably should. But the new patron base is definitely going toward the contemporary artists, which is exciting to me because the shift in being excited about an artist after they've gone on or are too old to appreciate what they're creating, or even to see our younger artists getting their due is very exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so getting to the point of the initial call was, the New York Times. I had a journalist that released an article, and in the article, the headline was, "Why have there been no great black art dealers?" Did you read the article?
I read the article, and I initially it was a bit comical because when you put in a title, "Why are there no great?" Then you don't decide what makes a gallery great.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't give us a definition of what that meant, so that you could really understand where she was coming from.
Right.
I felt that she particularly was looking within her region of artists or galleries that she knew about. So I think that a little more research would help her move the needle a different way. And I think she would change her title completely if she would do just a little more research.
Yeah, well, there's so many. I mean, there's a number of people in the field. I mean, you've been at it a long time. I know you can, rattle off a list of dealers and galleries that have come and no longer with us, and the ones that are continuing to do great work.
Right.
You're doing a fabulous job for your artists, Garbo. I commend you on your reputation. Talk to us a little bit about what makes the difference for an artist and a collector with dealing with a gallery. What makes a great gallery?
I mean, I think everybody has a different approach to it, but my biggest, I think, what makes what I do so enjoyable is that I do keep the lines of communication open. Mm-hmm. I encourage my clients and patrons to visit artist studios. I encourage artists to send the patrons thank you notes if they're going to be in a certain space or in the client's area. I expect them to let the clients know about it. So that communication tool is so important, I think. That makes a difference. And some galleries are not necessarily interested in their patrons and clients connecting with each other, but I think that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. And you've taken it a step further in a number of different aspects. I mean, you're a licensed appraiser, correct?
Yes. I got my appraisal certification in African American art in 2014, and I got my appraisal certification in the year 2000 because I had so many clients wanting to know what the value of their work was for estate purposes, for insurance purposes, and the biggest thing is to be educated yourself. So that helped me to go out and see what everybody else was doing in the industry. And initially, when I took the course, they wanted to know what I did because I went to NYU. I told them that my specialty was African American. My niche was African American art, and they wanted to know what that was. Which I thought was pretty. In the year 2000 now, there's a specialty for it. So you see, things are changing.
Mm-hmm. You know what? On as it relates to that, what would you say? I mean, say like you've got a collab recently. Had been working with a collector that I work with who was looking to get an appraiser, and because there wasn't an appraiser in her immediate area that specialized in African American art, what would you say? I mean, I understand that there's definitely a difference, but when you speak to people, why is it so important to get an appraiser that has a specialty in African American art?
Well, I think that if your collection is primarily African American art, you definitely want someone that they know the industry, they know who to contact, and they know how to do the research. Mm-hmm. And if they see a number that just doesn't feel and look right, they're going to go to the next step because that's their focus.
Yeah. The one other thing that you've done in recent history is actually work to develop or been a part of developing a secondary market auction. How is that going?
Well, that is actually my husband's venture, Hearne Southern Auction House. Okay. Again, in the secondary market, people have estate sales and they need somewhere to place their art. This came about as a need, so we have auctions twice a year in the fall and the summer. That the biggest concern is getting the market to understand how auction house actually works in terms of pricing and valuation. And so it's again going to be an educational process before I think the auction house takes off.
Okay, well, sounds good. Well, listen, we
do provide that opportunity for sure.
Right. So, we definitely encourage everyone if you're in Arkansas, definitely swing through Little Rock and visit Garbo at Hearne Fine Art. They have a tremendous gallery space, tremendous art, and a pleasure to always be around and to work with. If you want to talk a little bit about how people can reach you via the website and social media, please feel free.
Well, of course, we're located in Little Rock, Arkansas. We're on the corner right in Chester in the Dunbar Historic Neighborhood. So coming to Arkansas, that would be a spot that you want to check out. Our website is hearnefineart.com. You can call me at 501-372-6822. And, of course, my email address is hearnefineart@gmail.com. And we have a website, Instagram account, all of that under Hearne Fine Art.
All right, Garbo. Well, listen,
thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you and what you're doing with Black Art in America, and I wish you much success.
Thank you so much. Listen, take good care. Have a great show, and we'll be in touch at a later date. Be well.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is Najee Dorsey. You listen to another installment of BAIA Talks. Be sure to follow Black Art in America at blackartinamerica.com and look for us on your favorite social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And remember, you can always shop for art online at www.buyblackart.com.